What are you to do if the kala, for medical reasons, or the chassan, is not able to drink wine? What can you do for the Sheva Berakhot and for the Birkat Erusin? This is a question that was asked by a rabbi in New Orleans and a similar question asked by a rabbi in Brooklyn. And the answer, actually, maybe surprisingly, is that you don't really need a kos, a goblet of wine, for the Sheva Berakhot or Birkat Erusin. If you don't have wine, the halacha is you use something like beer, something that's a social drink. And if you don't have that, you can do the whole Sheva Berachos without it. Now, why is that? Because the Gemara never says you need wine for Sheva Berachos. Shocker. The Gemara never calls it Sheva Berachos. Without the wine, it's only 6. It calls it Birchat Chatanim, the blessing of the grooms. And also by Erusin doesn't mention wine. The only areas in halacha, in the Gemara, that we have wine is HaKiddush and Havdalah. But for us, we do it in Erusin and in Nisuin at a wedding and for Brit Milah. And if you think about it, that really adds to the ritual and the weight of those events and of those brachot. So there really is a power of using a cup of wine, which is why we extend it to those life cycle events. But according to halacha, it's really not required. Now, that being said, some do say that for Birchas Nisuin, after it was added, it did become an integral part, which is why there's a question if the rabbi makes the bracha Bor Pri HaGefen, does he have to drink the wine or not? Some rabbis do a trick that they get a little wine on their finger, they lick their finger. But others say, no, it's really part of the Sheva Berachot and not a Birchat Nanin of pleasure, and therefore he does not have to drink the wine. So there are this approach that it is integral, but as a matter of halacha, we say it really is not necessary if you don't have it. So that's the answer. If you can't do anything other than water, let's say, go ahead and do it without. Water wouldn't count because it's not a Chamer Medina. Now, why does something like beer and this woman could only drink tea, why would that count? Because the basic definition of a Chamer Medina is something that you don't drink because you're thirsty. It's something that you drink for social reasons. Hey, let's go have a glass of beer. Is the answer I'm not thirsty? Let's go have some tea. No, I'm not thirsty. No, it's like, yes, you sit down and have beer, you sit down and have tea. That makes it a Chamer Medina. And that's why if wine won't work, that can work. Or there was a woman who could use freshly pressed grape juice. That's also fine. That's a type of early wine. So there are alternatives to wine, but if no of those alternatives work, Sheva Berachot, which is really Birchat Chatanim, in the end can be done without a glass of wine, without any glass, and it is still the mitzvah of Birchat Chatanim.